people are demonstrating their Christian faith by getting nailed to a cross. He's been called a real-life wolfman, but he's not the only one. The whole family is covered in fur. This dog isn't just cute. He can compute.
Square root of 64 minus 2. What's the answer?
We're giving this dog a math test. He's chiseled, ripped, and buff. But this body belongs to a 7-year-old boy.
He had tone and definition pros would die for.
I love it. I love it.
Strap on this lingerie, and it might just save your life.
Is that person following me? Am I going to be attacked on my way home?
The invention giving crime fighting a real lift. Unbelievable? Believe it on Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Welcome. This is the unbelievable world of Ripley's. In the competitive no pain, no gain world of bodybuilding, there's always some guy touting himself as the next Arnold. Well, you're about to meet a guy who is ready to put his muscle where his mouth is. He's got the six-pack, the accent, even dreams of becoming a Hollywood action hero. But there is one little catch. Little being the operative word here.
He's got bulging biceps, ripped shoulders, and a washboard stomach. But this isn't the physique of some Olympic bodybuilder. It belongs to a 7-year-old boy. Even his own trainer, Frank Giardina, can't believe a little kid can get this pumped up.
Richard is 1 in a billion.
Richard Sandrak is not your average kid. Even though he's only 7 years old, he has the body of a man who's been physically training for many years. This second grader began pumping iron when he was just 5 years old. That's the year he saw his first Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jackie Chan. They're my favorite characters.
Fitness runs in the family. Richard's parents, both Russian immigrants, are experts in martial arts. He began imitating their moves when he was just a baby, and by the time he was 2, his skills were hard to ignore.
I wanted to train. I wanted to grow and be strong like my father and mother. I love training. I love it.
After 2 years of working out with his parents, this 4-foot, 60-pound Hercules now has his very own personal trainer. Frank Giardina hesitated to train him at first because of his age, but when he saw what Richard could do, he quickly changed his mind.
They pulled up at my gym and came in, introduced himself, and had Richard take off his shirt, and I was blown away. I said he had more tone and definition and body parts that pros would die for.
Richard trains for 1 hour a day, 6 days a week. He begins by warming up with his mom, doing stretches and kicks. Then his trainer takes over. Because of his star pupil's young age, Frank has adjusted the weight training routine.
With Richard, we will only work one body part a day. And we may only do one exercise, maybe 2 exercises for that body part. So it's completely 110% different than any way I've ever trained an athlete.
Not only does Richard do 100 dips between 2 chairs, which is hard enough, he does it with an incredible 60 pounds hanging from his neck. And that's just the beginning. Next, this 60-pound kid will curl 65 pounds.
Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
He does this with almost no effort at all.
Real strong, buddy. Pull it up.
As you can imagine, Richard's athletic accomplishments and unusually developed physique are rare for somebody his age. In fact, Dr. Michael Goldberg, a pediatrician who examined Richard, says he's never seen this kind of child before.
I think this has been an extremely unique situation where the father has been working with Richard from infancy This has been a progressive build-up type of a program. Can you put your hands out like this?
Anything that looks this unnatural seems like it would have to be dangerous. But not only has Richard been tested steroid-free, his bone development and the rest of his body is completely normal. His parents have charged Dr. Goldberg with making sure that things stay that way. It's just that Richard has muscles on top of muscles.
His body metabolically seems very healthy.
Excellent. You're doing great there, kiddo. You look healthy.
While medical tests give Richard a clean bill of health, doctors will continue monitoring him to make sure there are no long-term effects. Back in the gym, even hardcore fitness fanatics are amazed at this super kid's unbelievable strength.
Real strong, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up.
Watch as this 7-year-old bench presses 185 pounds. That's over 3 times his weight.
Push it.
But this is only the beginning of his raw Hercules strength. Richard is getting ready to do his favorite exercise, squats. A weight bar is too big for his body, so he uses a special vest loaded down with sandbags. That vest weighs an amazing 85 pounds. To compare Richard with some of his trainer's other clients, we asked 3 of them to join him. We wanted to see who had the most stamina. And to make this a fair test, all the adult weightlifters are lifting less than their body weight, while Richard is lifting 25 pounds over his weight. After about a minute, the 3 adult weightlifters are showing signs of fatigue. At a minute 10, one of them peters out. Some 20 seconds later, the second guy quits as well. Richard and the third muscle man are left. At 1:45, the third bodybuilder is finished, leaving Richard to keep going and going and going. 25 minutes later, he realizes that he's the only one left and decides that enough is enough. Meanwhile, those big guys are still struggling to recover.
Can you believe the kid goes 30 minutes?
My legs are like jelly.
Richard makes a big impression for someone so small, and that may help him reach the silver screen, just like his action heroes. And now that his muscular goal is realized, that is his next dream.
I like to go to the movies, make my own movies.
Whatever profession this little muscle man eventually chooses, you can bet he'll be ready for the challenge. Richard is not the first half-pint Hercules. Take a look at this original Believe It or Not cartoon, hand-drawn by Robert Ripley back in 1931. A 4-month-old infant could lift his own weight on a chin-up bar. Now, an arrow and an aspirin. There is a connection between these 2 ordinary objects, a bow and one man's unbelievable ability.
When Byron Ferguson lets his arrow fly, you can be sure of one thing. His target will be obliterated by his dead center precision. This world-class sportsman is widely considered to be the best exhibition archer there is. Byron grew up in northern Alabama and began hunting when he was a boy.
The bug bit me pretty hard, and I have stayed with archery ever since, not just in hunting, but in archery itself. I realized that moving targets was a lot more fun than shooting a stationary target.
But Olympic archery coach Don Rabska says Byron is actually defying the odds of archery with a weapon that can be traced back to the time of the caveman.
The Olympic-type bow has sights and stabilizers, a lot of gadgets that help us aim and control the bow. Byron has a bow and an arrow and a string on his bow, and that's it.
Byron shoots with an old-fashioned longbow that stands 5.5 feet tall and has a 71-pound pull. His wife, Wanda, did a double take the first time she saw her future husband in action.
I thought, wow, this guy's good.
Now, 28 years later, Byron can't attempt the near impossible without her. Wanda's the one standing directly in the arrow's path, tossing out those tiny targets while Byron stands at a distance of 20 feet. This is one stunt you should never try at home.
At the beginning, it scared me to death. But now we've done it for, close to 17 years, and it just comes naturally.
There are many reasons why nobody but a master archer should try stunts like this. First, you have to learn the mechanics of archery. how to pull back the bowstring, fit the arrow, and aim. Then you have to take it one step further.
Don't quit shooting when you feel like the bow is an extension of you. Keep shooting and project yourself through the arrow. In other words, become the arrow.
That ability to become the arrow allows Byron to push past the limits of ordinary archery. One of his signature moves is the double bank shot.
You could take the analogy of a pool player making a bank shot. Well, now you imagine that you stack end to end about 5 or 6 pool tables. That shot is much longer, and so the precision has to be incredible.
These red balloons mark the exact spots he has to hit to make it all happen. If you think that was precise, this next shot has to be even more accurate. He's going to aim for a target less than an inch wide. It's a simple band ring, and he promises the arrow will go right through the middle of it. It's difficult to see in real time, but a high-speed camera will capture every second of the attempt. It slices right through the center of the ring, carrying it along as it plunges into the target. But Byron's not done yet.
The most difficult shot, obviously, is trying to hit an aspirin tossed up in the air.
And Byron will try to hit it with a blunt-tipped arrow in mid-flight.
What I'm doing is I'm seeing the aspirin and anticipating where the aspirin is going next.
Not only does this shot require what Byron calls split vision aiming, but the shot is made even more difficult by the nature of arrow flight. The arrow doesn't fly in a straight line. It flexes, as you can see here, as it moves toward its target. To complicate the shot even further, a stiff breeze is making the aspirin's path more unpredictable than usual.
It just amazes me that the human body has that capability, if you will trust your instincts and let the shot happen, that you can hit something that small.
Byron perfected his aim by sitting in a dark room and shooting out the flame of a candle. We'll be right back.
Coming up, how does this high-wire artist celebrate his 70th birthday? The answer could kill him. Plus, the unbelievable ceremony where the devoted endure nails of faith. And forget about eating your homework. This number-crunching dog will do your homework.
Having Isaac is like having a smart brother.
On Ripley's Believe It or Not. You're watching Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Welcome back. Remember when you were in school and there was always some kid who would attempt to balance on a chair like this? Well, inevitably they would fall backwards on their butts and everybody'd have a good laugh. But there is a time and a place for everything. Now, demonstrating this talent on the edge of a cliff when you're about 70 years old doesn't seem like the time or the place. Unless, of course, you're this next guy.
If he were an ordinary man, Henri's Rechetin would take in the spectacular view of this 1,800-foot cliff from a safe distance. But instead, he's decided to risk his life by balancing himself on the cliff's edge while sitting on a chair set precariously on top of another. Even more amazing, he's going to do it without a safety net or harness of any kind. It's a balancing act that has been Henri's passion for more than 60 years. He first realized he had an extraordinary ability for balance when he was just a child. And so he spent much of his free time learning the tricks of the trade. He even met his wife, Janique, while demonstrating his high-wire act to an astonished crowd. He needed someone from the audience to sit on his shoulders, and she volunteered. Not only was it love at first sight, but the two have been married for almost 38 years.
J'ai toujours dit que lorsque je pourrais plus faire l'amour, je pourrais plus monter sur le câble.
Qu'il était original, bien sûr, Mais il était aussi, il faut le dire, il était très dragueur.
Henri's delights in showing off his amazing skills. For nearly 50 years, he's traveled the world in search of new death-defying heights and perilous new places to practice his art.
Bien, mon idée, moi, quand j'ai démarré, c'est de me faire connaître le plus possible, et je crois que j'ai réussi.
Henri's innate ability to balance his 150-pound frame on 2 chairs defies explanation. Doctors have even done studies and are amazed at his one-of-a-kind strength and agility. For Henri's, the explanation is actually quite simple.
Ah oui, bien sûr que au point de vue différence, j'ai eu beaucoup de contrôle.
To celebrate his 70th birthday, Henri's latest exploit was held here in his hometown of Saung AHZM, about 300 miles south of Paris.
C'est ma ville où je suis né, c'est là où j'ai fait mes premiers exploits, donc je pense que pour moi c'est une bonne motivation.
Henri's is going to balance himself on the edge of the historic St. Charles Cathedral, 200 feet above the ground.
Okay.
To test the wind conditions, he drops a water balloon. Satisfied that it's safe to proceed, Henri's begins by carefully placing one chair on top of another. Remarkably, the back 2 chair legs are supported only by small glasses. His wife watches nervously while down below, firefighters stand by in case something goes wrong. Henri's leaves nothing to chance. He always wears red clothing, and for extra good luck, he kisses a locket with his daughter's picture inside. He then climbs onto the chair on top, dangling his feet over the edge of the church roof for nearly a minute. It seems even longer for those watching from down below. Getting off is even more dangerous than getting on because the weight is shifted to the front toward the edge of the roof. Once he's back on solid ground, Henri's and his wife celebrate with a kiss.
Je pense qu'on va le réussir, mais quand on a fini, on est content de l'avoir réussi. Et puis on voit que tous les gens qui sont autour sont contents de ce qu'on a fait, donc on est doublement contents.
As impressive as this may be, Henri's biggest challenge is here in Norway, on a cliff 9 times as high as the St. Charles Cathedral. It's called the Prekkestalen. This imposing rock cliff stands some 1,800 feet above the waters of an icy lake. It's a foggy morning as Henri's and his assistant Robert begin setting up. Henri's first stomps on the edge of the rock to make sure it's stable and won't crumble. He and Robert bolt the platform into the granite and strategically place 4 glasses on each corner. Then, Henri's puts the first chair in place. The weather must be perfect. Even the slightest gust of wind could cause the chairs to shift, knocking Henri's off balance and possibly sending him nearly a quarter mile to his death. His many years of experience are crucial now, as it takes tremendous strength and concentration to maneuver himself onto the chairs. Any sudden move and he'll fall. But more importantly, Henri's must be careful to distribute his weight evenly. Too much weight on one of the glasses will cause it to break, knocking Henri's over the cliff's edge. With the chairs finally in place, Henri's takes a deep breath. Although he looks relaxed, Henri's is already focusing his energy on getting down from the top chair. Concentration is even more crucial at this point. He can't afford to get careless now.
Ça peut engendrer quelques moments d'inattention, et comme là on ne peut pas avoir une moindre minute d'inattention, même seconde d'inattention.
The precision he demonstrated as a young man is still evident. And Henri says he has no intention of retiring anytime soon.
family of Taipei, Taiwan seems like your average family, but they have a very unusual attraction for stuff. Lin Udong discovered this amazing ability when he was in the army. He was joking around with his friends when he placed a spoon on his forehead. Strangely, it didn't fall off. Lin has passed this unusual skill along to his children. The youngest is 3-year-old Gwen Yu. And just for fun, Lin covers Gwen Yu's body with silverware. Lin hopes that one day his family's sticky skin will attract gold instead of ordinary household items. Still ahead, this is no movie. These people are actually being crucified for their faith. Plus, Ripley's reveals the dinosaur that turned Jurassic Park into reality. And a young woman in need of personal protection. So she invented a security system that fits in your underwear. It's all coming up on Ripley's Believe It or Not. Ripley's world of unbelievable animals.
Ripley's has unleashed a talking dog, spitting fish, and fainting goats. And just when you think you've seen it all, another proud pet owner comes forward, this time with a dog that he can literally count on.
Mathematics can be a tough subject to master, even for adults. But the youngest member of the Weimer family can add, subtract, divide, and multiply. And he's only 5 years old. If that's not amazing enough, he's also a dog.
Isaac, what's the square root of 36?
Isaac, what's the answer?
Fabulous. I love it.
Good boy.
Isaac, a golden Labrador, belongs to Gary Weimer of Heath, Ohio. Although he's an all-around pleasant pooch, this remarkable retriever has one incredible talent that sets him a breed apart.
2 times 2, how many? Good dog.
That's right. This canine can calculate. But that shocking development came as no surprise to his proud owner.
We found out at about 6 months of age that Isaac was a little different than an average dog. He would look at me like, "Are you going to teach me anything else?" So I held up the 3 fingers. I said, "Isaac, how many?" He barked 3 times, and it all started right there.
Right here.
Like a lot of people, Gary's wife Dara was skeptical at first.
At first I thought it was a trick, that Gary had some kind of a signal, but then I realized that, Gary's honest, and he said, no, there's no trick. And the more Gary worked with him, then the more Isaac was able to do even more adding, subtracting, dividing, the square roots. And Isaac knows more square roots than I do.
We start out with small numbers, and we would do that every day for maybe 15, 20 minutes a day in and day out, 7 days a week. And it come to the point where he just knew when I was going to ask him some questions.
Zoo curator Michael Gee says it's possible that dogs have untapped potential.
You take something that's highly evolved, like a dog or a mammal, and they're just about capable of anything.
Isaac's mathematical skills are so impressive, the Weimers let the 4-legged prodigy help their son Garrett with his homework.
I'll say, "Isaac, help Garrett. He needs to know what 2 times 4 is." And Isaac will bark 8 times. So Isaac's a great tutor, a great mentor for that little son of mine.
I think it is pretty amazing Isaac can count. Having Isaac is like having a smart brother.
Gary knows many people scoff at the notion of a number-crunching canine.
People say, "This is unbelievable. A dog cannot give a square root. A dog cannot divide and give the right answer."
To prove his claim once and for all, Gary goes before the cameras to demonstrate that there's no sleight of hand involved in Isaac's calculations. He agreed to put on a pair of gloves and cover his eyes while someone else gives Isaac a math problem.
Isaac, what's 2 plus 2?
Isaac, what's the answer? Good boy.
proud of you, buddy. You want a treat. You deserve it.
Incredibly, with no help from his master, Isaac still gives the correct answer.
Sometimes I almost think that Isaac's going to open up his mouth and speak instead of count.
All dogs are not the same. Isaac is a Labrador, and many dog breeders believe that they're not the brainiacs of the canine class. That distinction goes to Border Collies and Poodles. Now, what you're about to see will shock you, plain and simple. Imagine a person so devoted to his spirituality that he allows spikes to be driven through the palms of his hands and feet. To understand such commitment, Ripley's walked with a man who has endured these nails of faith for 14 years in a row. In a tiny village in the Philippines, townspeople observe a truly unique religious ritual, annually conducting actual crucifixions. Most of the year, not much happens in the hardscrabble village of San Pedro Satu. With only sporadic electricity and no industry to speak of, most of its residents live in poverty. But each spring, the town becomes a magnet for thousands of tourists and faithful from all over the world. They're coming to see people like Cito Sangalang, an unassuming 42-year-old who sells smoked fish for a living. Today, Cito is about to transform himself into the image of Jesus Christ for a reenactment of the crucifixion. A painful process that he knows all too well.
Ngayon, nagsimula ako ng papako sa krus, 1987. Dahil nung nagkasakit ang nanay ko, pinangako ko sa aking sarili na gagapanin ko yung akin tungkulin.
Miraculously, Cito's mother recovered. Today, he and the other 12 participants don't just pretend to be nailed to the cross. They actually have spikes like these driven through their hands and feet. Cito recalls the first time he endured the self-imposed torture.
Pag nandun na kami sana sa Borol, inano pa lang yung pako sa akin, tinusok pa lang ng ganyan, nanginginig yung kamay ko, tsaka ito.
Although it's not sanctified by the Catholic Church, the crucifixion has been a tradition here for 40 years, crucifying hundreds, according to village chief Zolo Castro.
Sa amin po kasi dahil nakagisnan namin itong ritual na tradisyon ng barangay namin, napakahalaga.
On this Good Friday morning, Cito is deep in thought, mentally steeling himself for the ordeal he's about to endure.
Panay kang ninenervyos hanggat hindi mo kaya.
Gathering his wardrobe of tunic and crown of thorns, Cito gets words of encouragement from his son.
Masasabi ko lang na wag siyang ninenervyosin, kayanin niya.
After a farewell hug, Cito heads for the church for prayer and reflection. Meanwhile, the town is swarming with tourists and residents eager to witness the holy reenactment.
It's unique to the Philippines, and people just wouldn't want to miss it.
I think that is a ritual of identification, the very strong contact with Jesus Christ, with God.
To start the morning off, the men of the town take part in another agonizing ritual, flogging themselves with bundled bamboo shoots. Like the crucifixion, this self-inflicted suffering is meant to atone for their sins. Although it appears that Cito is being taken against his will, this theatric portrayal is all a part of the San Pedro Satu tradition. Forced to carry the heavy cross, Cito nearly buckles under the weight. His destination is this group of crosses just outside of the village. After Cito is lowered on the cross, his hands and feet are tied down, treated with disinfectant. Then comes the most grueling moment of all. Nails are hammered into Cito's open palm. As his face contorts in agony, the cross is raised, and the second phase of the crucifixion begins. After further disinfection, steel spikes are driven through Cito's feet. Although he seems to be in excruciating pain, Cito says that the experience brings him into a state of religious fulfillment. And he's not the only one. A dozen others are also undergoing the crucifixion. Over and over, palms and feet are impaled by spikes as devout faces grimace in a mixture of physical agony and spiritual joy. Even a woman has chosen this intense suffering as a way to proclaim her devotion. Cito remains nailed to his cross for an excruciating 13 minutes. Meanwhile, spectators are astounded at what they have just witnessed.
I'm not sure if it's because of faith or machismo or maybe a little bit ego or what. It's difficult for me to understand.
Afterward, an exhausted Cito reports that his body can no longer endure such unbearable pain.
Philippine 2001, last na lang yun.
In spite of all the blood and pain, not one participant has suffered any serious or permanent injury in over 40 years of practicing this astonishing ritual. We'll be right back.
The Wolfman. He is not a myth. He's very real. And so is his family,
of which at least 15 relatives are covered in hair. It sounds horrifying, but actually, it's heartbreaking.
It's one of the strangest twists in medical history. For years, doctors have been trying to find a cure for alopecia, a disease that causes patients like 9-year-old Jonathan Bolani to lose all their body hair. Now, 2 researchers say a cure for baldness may be found by studying a family which has a completely different problem. They grow hair all over their bodies. Manuel Diaz and his 2 granddaughters have hypertrichosis, an extremely rare hereditary condition sometimes called the werewolf syndrome. But for members of their family, it's anything but rare. 15 relatives, most of whom live in a small village near Guadalajara, Mexico, also have the gene that causes uncontrolled hair growth. Manuel says it was particularly hard for him when he was a child because of the constant stares and cruel remarks from other kids.
3 o 4 años me escondía yo de los niños para que no me vieran. Pero cuando yo cumplí los 5, los 6, los 7 años, ya me empecé a juntar con ellos.
Manuel says he was still a young man when he decided to take a job that gave him independence and a sense of purpose. He joined the circus.
Cuando el dueño del circo me dijo que si quería trabajar, le dije que sí. Así fue el modo que yo entré a un circo, al circo.
Circus performing has also become a way of life for the 2 most famous family members, Larry and Danny Gomez, better known as the Wolf Brothers. They are internationally known trapeze artists who were adopted by the Mexican National Circus when Larry was 9 and Danny was 6. Now, both brothers have a huge following.
Hola, Dani. Mis amigas.
Larry and Danny have the same dark curly hair on their faces as Manuel. Genetically, hair growth on a female is lighter. So far, Manuel's granddaughters have been able to live a relatively normal life because their facial hair is patchy at this point. But as they get older, as this medical photograph of an adult woman shows, hair will grow on their chest and arms as well. Doctors Jose Cantu and Luis Figuera are geneticists in Guadalajara who have been studying the family for more than 20 years.
When we studied the first cases, the oldest man used to shave all the face and the nose, the eyebrows and everything in order to look some kind of normal.
According to Dr. Figuera, hypertrichosis is not so much a disease as it is a genetic trait. In fact, he and Dr. Cantu believe that at one point in evolution, all humans were covered with hair, just as other mammals have fur.
The first time the term gorilla was used was about the 6th century to describe a tribe of people in Africa who had hair all over the face. This group does not exist anymore.
Today, 1 in 100,000 people is affected by hypertrichosis. But this family is the only one in the world with the most extreme form. It has enabled doctors to isolate the gene in the X chromosome and learn that males pass the gene on only to daughters, while females pass it on to both daughters and sons. This knowledge might be the missing scientific link to curing baldness.
In knowing these clues, we could solve many problems of hair growth.
Including a discovery for medication that could bring back the hair alopecia patients like Jonathan have lost. The great irony is that medical advances made with the cooperation of the Wolf family promise to help those without hair while doing little to find a cure for their problem. In the meantime, Manuel believes no one has the right to make a judgment about his appearance. He was born this way and has accepted his condition as a way of life.
Ah, bueno. Okay.
The Wolf brothers have turned down medical options to remove their hair. They've also turned down over 24 marriage proposals.
Next, these women are wearing human low jacks. How this sexy security device is proving to be a big bust for bad guys. Next on Ripley's. Enter Ripley's archives.
Leave it or not. Leave it or not.
The year is 1932. Cannonball Frank Richards is about to show how he earns his nickname. While Cannonball is able to endure punishing blows to his midsection that are beyond belief, his true skill lies in being able to survive a direct hit from a 140-pound cannonball shot at close range without any apparent injury. Richard learned the abdominal muscle control necessary to accomplish the feat from his father, George, the only other person known to have performed it successfully. Though both are able to perform it many times, we don't suggest you try this at home.
Pepper spray, mace, even self-defense techniques aren't always enough to fend off a surprise attacker. But now women who fear for their safety have a secret high-tech weapon that goes in their underwear. Yeah, this one got my attention too.
Walking through a dark alley late at night is every woman's nightmare. But this woman is not alone. She has a hidden security system under her blouse.
The information that's sent by the Technobra not only tells where you are, it says who you are.
That's right. We're talking about a bra, and this one could save your life. It's called the Technobra, and if the woman wearing it is ever attacked, it uses built-in cell phone and satellite technology to call for help. Designer Kirsty Falconer, an engineer, created the life-saving lingerie.
It's something for an independent woman, and it's something for a woman who wants to remain independent without compromising her lifestyle.
While working on her master's degree in industrial design engineering, Kirsty feared becoming just another crime statistic. She often had to walk home alone, late at night after working on a project. She dreaded each dark and lonely step.
I never really wanted to have to think about, is that person looking at me? Is that person following me? Am I going to be attacked on my way home?
To feel safer, many women purchase personal protection devices such as mace. But the problem is pulling the spray out of your purse if you're caught by surprise. That's when Kirsty was struck by an inspiration.
People have been abducted, and people have been looking and searching for this lost person or this abducted person. The Technobra will tell you exactly where that person is.
Technobra works just like a low jack. It has a built-in global positioning satellite system, or GPS.
That's telling me we're half a mile. This is pointing at it straight ahead.
But instead of using a satellite to track a stolen car, it locates women in danger.
This section of the bra contains electrically conductive fabric. Okay, so that's actually picking up the heart rate.
The heart rate is what triggers the alarm. Dr. Michael Levy, chief of cardiology at West Hills Hospital, explains how the sensors can tell the difference between exercise or excitement and fear.
With exercise, the heart rate will increase gradually in response to exercise, whereas with mortal fear, the heart rate will increase very rapidly, almost suddenly.
Once the alarm is activated, it begins beeping softly. If it's a false alarm, you can turn it off with buttons on the clasp. If no one responds, the bra's complicated system of electronics kicks into action. A tiny cellular phone and GPS locator are embedded in a gel-like lining, which slides right into the bra's cups. When attacked, the satellite tracks the victim's position and sends a text message within seconds, alerting the police to the exact location.
The technology of the Technobra has been proven. It's there, it works.
The alarm is powered by a 3-volt battery that can last up to 7 years. It's hidden in the bra's front clasp. Expected to hit the market in 2 years at a price of roughly $50 each, This miracle bra could change the future of female security. That feeling of safety is exactly what Kirsty wanted women to have, and she believes this undercover underwear provides peace of mind.
I do believe that the techno bra does have the potential to save lives.
If the techno bra offends your fashion sense, you could always wear this ring. It squirts pepper spray. Or, here's another high-tech option, the Defender. You touch this end to your assailant's skin, and a pin-like probe comes out and takes a DNA sample. It also emits an ear-piercing shriek for several minutes. Trust me on that part.
Next, how this prehistoric beast turned science fiction into spine-chilling fact. The story behind this mammoth monster when we visit the Ripley Vault. Next.
Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park did for the Velociraptor what Jaws did for sharks. Make them public nightmare #1. Check out these teeth. Claws. But the movie took a few liberties with reality. At the time the script was written, the biggest raptor known to scientists was only about the size of a bulldog. So the special effects guys used their imagination to create a creature 3 or 4 times larger. Now we're talking. But just months before the film came out, a raptor skeleton was dug up in Utah, and fiction became reality. This carnivore measures almost 17 feet from head to tail. That's bigger than a bulldog. Unbelievable? Believe it.
On Schiller, hang out with the master of fear, Tracy Morgan.
Hope you brought a change of pants.
Big screams, terrifying pranks.
Are you doing this? Get out of my head!
And a horrifying reason to watch.
We do what we want!
Scare Tactics. Back-to-back episodes tonight starting at 7 on Schiller. Scary good.
Fear is funny!
It's Valentine's Day, and this is what she wants. Love you.
I love you.
But this is what he wants. Chiller's got you both covered with his and hers entertainment.
Great!
A full day of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and a full night of couples Fear Factor. When Love Dies Marathon. Valentine's Day starting at 6 a.m. Only on Schiller. Scary good.
I love you so much.